There was once a king, not just a ruler of lands, but a master of understanding. His name echoes through the corridors of time, Solomon, a man who asked not for riches, not for revenge, but for wisdom. And because of that choice, he gained all the rest. You see, there's a secret hidden inside that decision. A secret so powerful, it can change the direction of your life, your business, your destiny. But only if you're wise enough to hear it. The real gold lies not in your bank vault, but in your mind, and Solomon knew that. Act I the power of right priorities. When the world offered him anything he wanted, he asked for understanding, an obedient heart. Why? Because he knew what so many forget, that without wisdom, wealth becomes a burden. Without understanding, power turns to poison. Without insight, opportunity rots before it can bloom. The lesson. You become unstoppable not when you gain more things, but when you gain more clarity, more control over your thoughts, more command over your emotions. True success is never built from outside in, it is built from inside out. Act Romans 2, mastery of thought. King Solomon once said, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." Your world is a mirror, reflecting not what is real, but what is within you. If you believe you are cursed, the world will show you 1,000 signs to prove you right. But if you believe you are chosen, destined, favored, the world bends to meet your belief. Thought is the seed of all things. Guard your thoughts as you would guard treasure. They are living instruments. They build your reality. And when the world tempts you with chaos, confusion, and noise, return to your still mind. That's where Solomon's strength came from, not the crown on his head, but the calm inside his soul. Act Romans 3, discernment. The crown jewel of wisdom. Wisdom is not just knowing what to do. It is knowing when to do it, and more importantly, why. Solomon could hear two people speak and see 10 layers deeper than anyone else. He understood motives. He understood timing. He understood the human heart. You must cultivate this same power, because the world is full of distractions, false promises, and loud talkers. But the wise person listens carefully, chooses slowly, and acts decisively. Discernment isn't a gift you are born with. It is a skill you forge through pain, patience, and perspective. Act Romans 4, the source of all abundance. Solomon's kingdom was vast, wealthy beyond imagination, but the greatest treasure he ever possessed wasn't gold or silver. It was clarity of purpose. He knew his role. He didn't try to be everything to everyone. He focused on his calling and let the rest fall away. When you align yourself with purpose, doors open, resources appear, people begin to follow your lead. Not because you force them, but because you carry something they recognize. Certainty, and that certainty is rare. If you want to rise above average, you must do more than wish. You must decide to become wise, decide to master your thoughts, decide to live with purpose, not noise. Finale, a personal charge to the listener. King Solomon was not extraordinary because of his throne, but because of the choices he made. And so I ask you, what are you asking for? What are you seeking? Are you chasing success, or becoming someone worthy of it? You do not need a royal birth to walk in power. You only need the courage to think for yourself, the humility to seek wisdom first, and the discipline to apply it. The secret wisdom of Solomon is not locked in ancient texts. It's alive, it's waiting, and it belongs to those who dare to live by higher principles. So choose today. Seek understanding over approval. Seek clarity over confusion. Seek purpose over pleasure, because when you seek wisdom first, everything else follows, and that, my friend, is the ultimate secret. In the ancient days, when kings ruled by divine right and empires were built by the strength of armies, there arose one man who made a request so rare, so bold, that the heavens themselves took notice. Given the chance to ask for anything, wealth beyond measure, the fall of his enemies, long life, this man asked for something far greater, an understanding heart. He asked for wisdom, and in doing so, he unlocked the secret most men never discover in their entire lives. The secret that wisdom is the foundation of all enduring success, that wisdom is the gateway through which riches flow, not the other way around. This man, Solomon, did not stumble into greatness. He chose it. He understood that wealth without wisdom is a curse in disguise, that riches in the hands of a fool are nothing but fuel for destruction. Now stop and reflect. When you dream of success, what do you ask for? Is it money, power, recognition, or is it the ability to handle those things with clarity, discipline, and vision? Here is the eternal truth. Success is never denied to the man who first seeks wisdom. Because wisdom is what prepares you for success. It makes you ready to receive and retain all that life can offer. Most people chase money like a child chases butterflies, running wildly, distracted by every flicker of movement, never understanding that wealth does not come to the frantic, but to the focused, and focus is born of wisdom. Wisdom says, do not ask for more before you are ready to manage more. That's why so many people who win great fortunes lose them within years. They had the money but not the mindset, the riches but not the reason. They climbed too high on a ladder they didn't build, and the fall was inevitable. Solomon's request was not weakness. It was the ultimate show of power, because he asked for something most men are too proud to ask for, the ability to understand others, to understand himself, to understand life, and because of that, he received everything else, wealth, honor, peace, influence, without having to beg for it. So what about you? Have you trained your mind to become wise? Or are you still grasping for outcomes without first building the character to sustain them? It's a mistake to think success begins with doing more. It begins with thinking better, better decisions, better principles. Better judgment and wisdom is not found in textbooks or titles. It is found in observation, in reflection, in quiet self-discipline. It is built every time you delay reaction and choose response, every time you trade pride for perspective. Every time you choose truth over what is easy. Remember this, the man who is wise will never stay poor, but the man who is foolish, no matter how much he has, will soon lose it all. Solomon teaches us that the world doesn't reward noise, it rewards insight. It doesn't reward arrogance, it rewards discernment, and it doesn't reward haste, it rewards preparation. The world is full of people chasing success as if it is something outside of them, but real success is something you must grow within you. It begins the moment you stop asking, how do I get more, and start asking, how do I become wiser? Because when you become wiser, you become dangerous. In the best possible way, you make fewer mistakes. You see through deception. You recognize opportunity before it becomes obvious to others. And you carry yourself with a calm authority that makes people listen when you speak. That is the power of wisdom. That is the gift that Solomon received, and that gift is available to you, but you must choose it every day in how you think, in how you learn, in how you treat people, in how you handle setbacks. Wisdom isn't a single decision, it is a lifestyle, and when you commit to that life, when you hunger for understanding more than applause, everything else begins to align: wealth, influence, opportunity. But only when you're ready. So ask yourself honestly, are you preparing your mind for success, or just chasing the shadows of it? Seek wisdom first, and the rest will follow. There is a power within you, greater than any external force. A power so absolute that it governs your future, molds your experiences, and determines the height of your success or the depth of your failure. That power is your thought, not chance, not luck, not circumstance, but the steady, invisible activity of your own mind. What you dwell upon, you draw toward you. What you believe, you eventually become. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. These are not poetic words. They are spiritual law. Irrefutable, unchangeable, they govern all men equally, just as gravity does, and they will either carry you upward like wings or chain you down like weights, depending on how you think. You cannot afford to entertain weak, fearful, bitter thoughts and expect a rich, powerful, joyful life. The two cannot coexist. Your thoughts are seeds, and your life is the harvest. You will never grow corn by planting weeds. The truth is, you are creating your life every single day, not with your hands, but with your mind. Now, let me ask you plainly, what are you allowing yourself to think on? Do you repeat to yourself that the world is hard, that nothing ever works out, that you're too late, too old, too far behind? If so, you are not only programming failure, you are living inside a prison you built yourself. But the good news, that prison has no lock. The bars are made of illusions, and the key is already in your hand. Change your thoughts, and you change your conditions. Success never begins in the marketplace. It begins in the mind. Wealth is not a number in your account. It's a belief in your soul that you are worthy, capable, and in control of your destiny. If you wish to rise, you must learn to monitor your thoughts like a wise king guards his kingdom. You must cast out doubt like an invader. You must silence fear like a liar. You must speak truth to yourself even when your reality looks the opposite. Your present circumstances are not final. They are a mirror reflecting the thoughts you have habitually entertained. If you want to see a different image, you must think a different thought. Do not waste your energy blaming the world. The world is only responding to you. It is shaped by the blueprint you hand it. A man who thinks in terms of strength, discipline, and victory will eventually act in those terms. And actions, repeated with belief, create outcomes. It is inevitable. That is why two men can grow up in the same city, face the same hardships, and one becomes a champion while the other becomes a victim. It is not fate, it is focus, it is the direction of thought. One man says, "Why me?" and the other says, "Try me." Your thinking writes your future in advance. You do not get what you want in life. You get what you are prepared to believe you deserve. And your beliefs are nothing more than thoughts you've repeated long enough that they became automatic. So what do? You train your mind like a warrior trains his body, daily, relentlessly. You plant thoughts of courage, abundance, clarity, purpose, and you water them. You refuse to let weeds of fear or envy grow. You reject gossip, negativity, smallness, because you know they poison your potential. You surround yourself with people who think big, who speak possibility, who reinforce the reality you want to live, not the one you are trying to escape. You wake up each morning with intention. You feed your mind like you feed your body. With strength, you learn, you read, you grow. Because the more you elevate your thoughts, the more your life must rise to meet them. This is not magic. This is law. Thought becomes belief. Belief becomes action. Action becomes result. You can think your way into a new life. But you must be deliberate. You must take full responsibility for the environment of your mind. Stop thinking like a beggar and start thinking like a builder. Stop thinking like a servant and start thinking like a sovereign. There is nothing outside of you more powerful than what is inside you, when it is focused, trained, and elevated. So I ask you now, what thoughts will you choose today? Will you repeat the story of your limits? Or will you write a new one, a story of strength, of vision, of unstoppable drive, because the pen is in your hand and your thoughts are writing your future right now? There is a form of intelligence far more valuable than raw knowledge and far rarer than talent. It cannot be measured by degrees nor bought with money. It is the silent strength behind every wise decision, every lasting empire, every undefeated mind. It is called discernment. Discernment is the ability to see beneath the surface, to hear the truth behind the words, to sense the opportunity within chaos, and the danger within the disguise of success. It is the crown jewel of wisdom, and those who possess it do not stumble, they choose. Carefully, intentionally, deliberately, discernment is the reason one man prospers while another fails in the very same situation. It's not luck, it's not fate, it's the ability to read life accurately. Most people operate by sight. They believe only what is obvious, what is loud, what is glittering on the outside. But the one who discerns sees with an inner vision. He knows that not everything that glitters is gold, and not every opportunity is worth the price. He pauses before he speaks, he listens before he decides, he studies before he acts, and because of that, he is seldom fooled. In life, there will always be choices, paths that look alike at first glance. People who talk big but walk small, deals that appear profitable but are poisoned beneath the surface. Without discernment, you become a victim of appearances, but with it, you become a master of reality. Discernment saved Solomon time and again. 2 women came to him with 1 child, both claiming to be the mother. No law, no logic, no visible evidence could decide the case, but Solomon didn't look for what was seen, he looked for what was true. With a single sentence, he revealed the heart of the matter. That is what discernment does. It cuts through noise, it reveals motives, it saves you from deception, especially the self, deception that ruins more dreams than failure ever will. There are people in your life right now who appear helpful but are holding you back, ideas that feel right but lead to regret, emotions that scream urgency when the wise choice is patience. Discernment is what separates the impulsive from the intentional, the imitator from the innovator, the rich in noise from the rich in substance. So how do you develop this priceless gift? You begin by listening more than you speak. The one who talks constantly cannot learn. But the one who watches, who studies human nature, who reflects before reacting, he becomes sharp, perceptive, wise. Next, you learn to question your first instinct, not to distrust yourself, but to train yourself. Ask, is this thought based in truth or in fear? Is this opportunity aligned with my purpose, or just a distraction dressed up as progress? You build discernment by remembering this. Not every good thing is the right thing. Not every door is your door. Not every offer is your destiny. The greatest victories are often the ones where you said no. The undisciplined man chases everything. The discerning man waits for what is aligned. Be that man. Surround yourself with truth, tellers, not flatterers, people who challenge you to think deeper, not just cheer louder. Study the great men and women of history, not just their results, but their decisions. What they walked away from, what they waited for, what they sacrificed to stay on course. Discernment will protect you from years of regret. It will save your energy, your time, your peace. And it will lead you consistently to the places others only reach by accident, if they ever reach them at all. You will find that life rewards not the fastest mover, but the clearest thinker, and there is no clarity without discernment. Make no mistake, this world is full of noise. Every day someone is selling you something, an idea, a belief, a shortcut, a story. If you do not think for yourself, someone else will do it for you. But when you are discerning, you do not follow the crowd. You lead yourself, you separate what is essential from what is empty. You know who you are, and you never rent out that power for the cheap comfort of approval. Remember, the man who knows what to do is skilled. But the man who knows what not to do is wise. Choose to be wise, train your mind, sharpen your awareness, build your instincts, and live not by reaction, but by revelation. Because discernment is not just power, it is protection, and it belongs to those who earn it. Men have spent lifetimes chasing the illusion that success is something they must pursue outside themselves. They've run after titles, wealth, applause, and status, believing that somewhere out there lies the key to their greatness. But that belief is a deception. True success does not begin in the bank account, nor in the business card, nor in the eyes of others. It begins within, quietly, firmly, invisibly, at the very core of who you are. You see, success is not something you get. It is something you become. Until a man changes his internal world, no amount of external accomplishment will bring him peace. That is why so many people reach what they thought was the top, only to feel empty when they arrive. They climbed a mountain that looked impressive but led to nowhere, because the foundation beneath them was hollow. A man without inner mastery will always sabotage outer victory. But when a man builds himself from the inside out, when he develops clarity, character, discipline, and purpose, success becomes inevitable, not because the world gives it to him, but because the world has no choice but to reflect what he already is. The truth is, everything you're looking for, confidence, freedom, wealth, direction, is already locked inside you, waiting to be uncovered, not acquired. That is why Solomon didn't ask for gold. He didn't ask for land or armies or fame. He asked for understanding, because he knew that with inner understanding all things would follow, and follow they did. Too many people make the mistake of focusing on what they want to have before focusing on who they must become. They ask, how can I earn more, when they should be asking, how can I think better, how can I lead myself more effectively, because if you develop yourself, success will chase you. You can't build a skyscraper on sand. And you can't build a meaningful life on ego, envy, fear, or comparison. Your outer life will always rise or fall to the level of your inner world. You must clean your mind of weakness. You must strengthen your habits, your focus, your ability to persevere when nothing around you offers support. This is what separates those who try from those who triumph. Real success doesn't always shout. It doesn't need to. It carries itself with calm certainty. It doesn't demand approval because it already operates with approval from within. A man who is grounded, purposeful, and disciplined is unstoppable, not because life becomes easy, but because he becomes stronger than the storm. So ask yourself, are you building your success from the inside? Or are you painting the outside while neglecting the foundation? Start with your mind. Feed it ideas that stretch you. Challenge the thoughts that shrink you. Refuse to entertain any belief that makes you small, bitter, or dependent on someone else's validation. Train your emotions. Don't be ruled by every passing feeling. Emotions are visitors. Let them come, but do not let them take over the house. Align your actions with your values. Make integrity your standard. Do what is right, even when it is hard, especially when it is hard. Create space for silence. In silence, you meet yourself. And the man who knows himself deeply is the only man who can lead others confidently. And above all, live by purpose, not by pressure. Don't let the world rush you into a path that is not your own. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You only need to become who you were meant to be. You are not behind, you are not too late, you are not broken, but you may be distracted. And you may have forgotten that everything you need is already within you, if you will do the work to bring it forward. Build yourself like a temple, deliberately, brick by brick, thought by thought. Let patience be your architect and vision be your blueprint. The gold will come, the success will come, but let it be the byproduct of your internal power, not the source of it. The man who succeeds is not the one who has the most, but the one who has mastered himself. You want to win, then don't look outward, look inward. That's where the real riches begin. Every man is born with desires. The desire for pleasure, for comfort, for recognition, for possession. These desires are natural, yes, but they are also dangerous if left untrained, for what begins as a servant can easily become a master. And no man can reach greatness if he is enslaved by his own appetites. The man who wishes to rise must first conquer the battlefield within. He must learn the noble art of mastering his desires, not by killing them, but by directing them. Like wild horses, they must be bridled, not broken, controlled, not indulged. A life ruled by impulse is a life driven off course. It is like a ship without a compass, constantly tossed by the winds of temporary urges and shallow cravings. One day the man wants success. The next, he settles for distraction. One moment he desires discipline. The next, he gives in to ease, and so he drifts, year after year, never arriving at the shore he once dreamed of. But the man who governs his desires becomes a force to reckon with, for he understands that true freedom is not doing whatever you want whenever you want. It is having the power to choose what serves your highest self. Solomon, a king of immense wisdom and riches, once wrote, "Better is he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city." And he meant it, because what good is conquering the world if you have not conquered yourself? Your desire for food, for pleasure, for validation, for luxury, none of these are evil, but when they command you, when they decide your behavior, your schedule, your decisions, then you are not the master. You are the slave. Look around. The world is full of people who sold their future for comfort today. Men with potential but no persistence, talents but no temperance, goals but no grit. Because the moment temptation knocked, they opened the door, smiling. You must choose differently. You must rise each morning not asking, "What do I feel like doing?" but instead, "What must be done to move me forward?" Discipline is not punishment. It is the highest form of self-respect. It is the declaration that your future matters more than your feelings, that your vision matters more than your vices. Every time you delay gratification, you strengthen your spirit. Every time you say no to a lesser desire, you say yes to a higher purpose. And over time, those choices add up to something magnificent. A life that others admire, and you are proud to call your own. Do not envy the man who lives without limits, who does whatever he pleases. He may shine for a season, but his fall will be great. Instead, model the man who lives with direction, who denies himself the easy path in favor of the enduring reward. For that man is building a kingdom, brick by bricken, side and out. How do you master desire? First, by becoming aware of it. Know when it rises, watch it, name it, understand its pattern. Do not fear it, study it. What triggers your distractions? What thoughts lead you to compromise? When you know your enemy, you can defeat it. Second, by redirecting it. A desire cannot simply be removed. It must be replaced. Channel the energy. Instead of craving comfort, crave growth. Instead of seeking approval, seek excellence. Make your hunger work for you, not against you. And third, by building rituals of resistance. Don't wait until the moment of temptation to decide. Build habits that make the right choice automatic. Create an environment that supports discipline. Surround yourself with people who respect principle over pleasure. Every time you say no to what weakens you, you say yes to the strength that is already within you. Every time you resist the pull of the world, you rise higher into the power of your purpose. You were not made to be ruled by cravings. You were made to rise above them. The greatest victories in life are not over others, but over self. So deny the impulse that leads to regret. Delay the gratification that weakens the will. And decide, once and for all, that you will be a man of principle, of control, of unshakable inner power. For the throne of success does not belong to the one who desires most, but to the one who masters his desire. And that throne is waiting for you, if you will only take control of the kingdom within. Leadership is not a title, nor a position, nor a loud voice demanding to be heard. It is something far deeper, something rooted in the spirit, something unshakable in character. Leadership is not about control, it is about influence, and the man who influences others by the sheer force of his virtue will outlast the man who rules by intimidation or charm. Righteous leadership begins with responsibility. Before you ever direct others, you must first govern yourself. No man can lead the world who has not first mastered his own household, his thoughts, his habits, his decisions, for it is not words that inspire people, it is example. The man who says little but lives with integrity has greater authority than the man who speaks often but lives in contradiction. Solomon understood this. He did not rule by force, but by wisdom. His people trusted him not because he demanded it, but because he earned it. His decisions were just, his heart was balanced, his motives were not rooted in ego, but in service, and that is the first mark of a righteous leader. He serves, he leads not to be admired, but to advance others. He carries the weight of responsibility not for applause, but because he knows that if he doesn't stand strong, others will fall. Too many today chase leadership for the perks. They want to be seen, heard, followed. They confuse visibility with value, but leadership is not about being above people. It's about standing for people. It's about being the one others can count on, especially when the storm rages and everyone else is looking for a way out. If you wish to lead, prepare to be misunderstood. Prepare to stand alone when others waver. Prepare to sacrifice, to suffer, to stay firm when comfort calls your name. For leadership is not easy, it is earned through fire. A righteous leader does not bend to every opinion. He listens, yes, he considers, but he is not swayed by popularity or pressure. He is anchored in principles. He is led by truth, not trends. That kind of man is rare, but when he rises, the world follows. You must become that man. Leadership begins the moment you stop asking, "What do I want?" and start asking, "What is right?" The moment you stop chasing attention and start living by conviction. When your life becomes a message, clear, consistent, courageous, others will naturally look to you, not because you ask them to, but because they trust you. And trust is the foundation of every great leader. How do you build it? First, keep your word. If you say you will do something, do it. Your reliability is your reputation. Break it once and your influence is cracked. Keep it, even in small things, and your name will carry weight beyond what you can see. Second, speak truth, even when it costs you. The world is full of men who say what is convenient, but the leader speaks what is necessary. People may not agree with him, they may not like what he says, but deep down they respect him. Third, do not ask of others what you are unwilling to do yourself. Lead from the front, show up early, stay late, work harder, live cleaner. When people see that you demand more of yourself than of them, they will follow you to the ends of the earth. And finally, never stop growing. The leader is not perfect, but he is committed to progress. He studies, he reflects, he adapts, and he surrounds himself not with yes men, but with truth tellers, those who sharpen him, stretch him, and hold him to his highest standard. Solomon led an entire nation because he led from righteousness. He asked for wisdom to govern well, not wealth to impress. That's the mark of true leadership. It begins not with what you have, but with who you are. You may not be a king, but in your home, your business, your community, your example is your crown, and how you wear it determines how far you'll go. So lead with strength, but lead with humility. Lead with courage, but lead with compassion. Lead with excellence, but lead with ethics, because the power of righteous leadership is not found in domination, but in devotion, not in ruling over others, but in lifting them, not in how many follow you, but in how many rise because of you. This is the leadership that lasts. This is the leadership that transforms, and this, if you choose it, will become the legacy that outlives you.